So I remember seeing online on YouTube and things like that a little while ago. There was a hack where you took one of the covers that go onto your camera when you're not having a lens attached to it, drill a hole, take one of the lenses from the disposable cameras. Lens, I say lens lightly, it's just a piece of plastic, but take that and mount it into the lens cap, and then you have a lens that kind of replicates that old style feeling that you got with these disposable cameras. So this is something that I was really interested in, these kind of lenses with the old disposable lens used on the cap, but I am not a very industrious person and I don't have the tools to make these. So I kind of just like put that out of my head and didn't really think about it. It was a neat idea, but nothing I could do personally. So one day when I was on Instagram, this Pocket Dispo company popped up, and it's basically this idea. Someone's gone out and made a product of it, taken like a lens cap and put this lens in it, and now they sell it. So this is much more convenient for most of us. Not many of us have glue guns and access to drills and things like that. So it was neat that somebody did this, and I was actually quite interested and ended up ordering it for myself right away. So, I'm not being paid for this review or anything. This is something I've bought out of pocket because I was interested and wanted to see how it would work in my street photography especially. So after ordering it, it took about a week or so to get to me here in Japan, which is normal. And honestly, when it first arrived, I was a little bit surprised. When the package first arrived, it was just this, black kind of air bubble package. I was a little bit surprised. It's something really well presented. It's $100 item that I ordered, so at the least I would hope it would come in a box. That's just me. I'm old school, I guess, that way. But you open it up, and what you get inside first is this card, the pocketdispo.com. It's their name card, I guess, which is whatever. That's cool. And it has a QR code on the back here to see you can look up online if there's something wrong with it. And it gives you a little warning: be sure to enable release shutter without lens in your camera settings. So there is like a setting you have to change in your camera when you first start using this. When I threw it on my ZF, I didn't have to change that. It was just fine. So that worked for me. So yeah, we'll just get rid of that. And then the actual lens itself is this. Now, basically, this is just what I would assume is a 3D printed piece of plastic that goes onto the front of your camera directly. And that's about it. So yeah, it is very, very much just a piece of plastic. It's not going to bend or break or anything, it seems. And you can see the little bit of a lens in the middle. Now I should note, really, really important to note here, is that this is shot at f11, so that's way more stop down than I ever shoot at. Really, really important to know, because if you're expecting to use this at night or in darker situations, then obviously f11 is really stop down, and you're going to have to bring up either your ISO like crazy, adding noise to the image, which could look good if you're going for that film look, or you're going to have to really bring down your shutter, which, you might want to drag it out and things like that, but these are two things you're going to have to do with your images if you want to shoot at night. I think this works really, really best in bright daylight, in the middle of the day, when it's sunny. And if you look at the Instagram for this company, then you will notice that, most of the images are shot with really bright light, really nice daytime shooting, because that's where the f11 is not that big of an issue. And, this is a manual focus, or this is a zero focus lens. It's a fixed focus, so you can't do anything with focusing. So f11 actually kind of helps that way. It broadens the area that is in focus in your image, but you're going to have to play with that and figure out where's the best spot for yourself and see how you can use that when out shooting. And because, I like street photography, I took this out into the street of Tokyo one afternoon and just went for a wander and tried to see what I could get. And it works. I guess you could say it works fine. You attach to your camera, go out and shoot. One thing I noticed right away though is just the build. It doesn't really fit snug into my camera, at least the one I got doesn't. When I put it on, it's kind of just there. There's no nice little snug snap or anything like that. So when I'm moving around, I feel like it could come off if I'm not that careful with it. So I was constantly just double checking that it's attached properly and all the way in. The ones that you would buy, say for Nikon, for the actual camera, will fit into your camera perfectly and it's on there. I've never had them come off before. But this, I had it attached and then I just threw my camera in my bag and I was walking around, and when I went to get it again, this had come off. Which on my ZF, it doesn't have a sensor protector like my Z9 does inside the camera. So I was like, oh geez, that's not good. I really don't want my unexposed sensor flying around in my bag, because I got a lot of little things in there as well that could maybe hit it and things like that. So it'd be nice if they were a little bit more snug when you put them on. That, at least that is the one that I got. Maybe other people have found that they fit better on their camera when they're out shooting. But anyways, when I was out shooting, it works. You can take pictures with it, obviously. One thing I noticed that I actually enjoyed with photography with this one was shooting from the hip, because it is a fixed focal length, so just whatever's in focus is in focus. So I was trying to shoot from the hip a little bit more than I would do. Didn't get anything epic, nothing too crazy, but with this kind of lens, that is something that's a little bit easier to do. People don't really see it as a lens on the camera as well, so it's kind of hard to tell that you're taking pictures anyways if you have it just down at your chest or whatever. That's kind of a neat thing, but all in all, in general, I really don't particularly like the image of this lens produced. It's very halo-y. It's very, very soft, which can be expected, I guess. If you're going straight out of camera and you're not using any like internal color correction or anything like that, you're not getting that film look straight out of camera. You're really, to get the film look that you see on the Instagram and things like that, you're going to have to do color correction and editing to the image at least a little bit to get that color feel of the film as well, which I think in general is a big part of that feeling of shooting on film, is the colors that those films produced. If you see the regular, straight out of camera shot here, and then I edit it, after editing it does look a little bit better and a little bit more like it's shot on an old style film. But when you really look at the image, it's quite halo-y, it's very soft. Like with this image, what the heck's going on with this guy? That he's like totally destroyed, which brings me to my next point. It seems like this lens, when things are in the center, they're quite nice. It doesn't really bother me too well when they're in the center, but when you get off to the side, the edges of the lens, it kind of like gets a little bit out of control, and I'm not really sure what's going on. One thing you should note as well, things like say a fisheye lens, you'll get a curve like this. It's a very noticeable curve in the image, but when I'm shooting say the sign, you can see it how the sign is kind of a little bit more into the middle, and the line on the sign looks straight, looks fine. But as I put that sign off to the right of the image, now you're getting like a reverse concaved curve to the sign, which is something I find really weird. As I shoot a lot of fisheye, it really kind of like unnatural. It looks just weird to me. I don't know why it would concave in that way. Maybe someone could tell me in the comments why it's concaving that way, but it's not something I've really experienced with other lenses, so that's kind of just weird. When I shot, say, these vending machines, on the sides of the vending machines, you can tell that they're curved. I don't remember the disposable cameras doing that at all. It could just be my bad memory, but sure, okay, that's just another aspect of shooting photography with this, but it's not something I really like personally. For $100, you can't really complain too much, but still, it's $100. That's $100. Like if this was $20, whatever, that's fine. You can be as crappy as you want, but still, $100 is $100. So, kind of want a bit better quality in the images that I'm going to be getting out of this. And really, if you do want to get that film look, you're not getting that straight out of camera just with this. The colors, you're going to have to play with them and edit them. Maybe get some presets to change it to film look. And then with that, with the haloing and with not the perfect rendition of everything like that, yeah, sure, it could work. But for photography, me personally, this isn't something I'm going to be throwing on my camera all that often. I would much rather use my 35, have the autofocus and everything, because I have that already, and get images that I can then change up in Photoshop afterwards that start off really, really nice, and then I can degrade them and add grain and change them in any way I feel fit. Whereas with this, you start off at a pretty low level. Saying that though, one thing I am actually interested in using this for in the future would be for video. I noticed in a lot of their promotional materials, they do show a lot of video being shot with this. And again, you do have to color correct to give it that film vibe, but the look of the video that you get with this could be really interesting for B-roll and things like that when shooting video. I'm shooting more and more video these days and throwing this in my bag and trying to get some kind of organic looking B-roll to add into a video I'm shooting could be a lot of fun with this, and something I'm actually kind of want to experiment with in the future, because the video I got, it does look interesting, and like I said, for B-roll, it could be a nice little aesthetic that you throw into your videos. And I don't know how to edit a video shot cleanly, say on my Z9, to give it this kind of look to it. So really, really simple, just throw it on there and have some fun with it. And so I think in that way, that's something that I might throw in my bag more often and decide to throw on my camera when I'm shooting more video in the future. So yeah, all in all, I honestly a little bit disappointed with the package it came in. The build quality isn't the greatest. It's a 3D printed piece of plastic with a piece of plastic inside. Didn't really fit on my camera all that well, so I was a little bit nervous using it. It came off in my bag. Not really something I want to see happen for any equipment that I put on my camera. For photography, probably I won't be using it much in the future. Maybe throw it on once in a while, but again, you need to be able to edit the photos to look like film, give it that film vibe and stuff through the colors, and not just straight out of camera. But saying that, video could be a fun tool and an interesting aspect for my video, for B-roll in the future. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on this from using it for an afternoon. You might have some different thoughts and ideas. Maybe you have some really good points that you found out while using it. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Try to convince me, that it's something I want to throw on my camera more often. So hope this helps. Talk to you guys soon, and cheers.